you're welcome today also.
Yeah, but thank you very much.
Alright, sir. So yesterday the tribunal validated Governor Sanwo-Olu election in Lagos State,
Yeah.
and he has given thanks to his the citizen for standing by his administration, and also commend the judiciary for their hard work. Is there any controversial surrounding Sanwo-Olu's revalidation in the Lagos?
There's no controversial anything because
the Lagos election was somehow, and it's a very disappointing election.
How was it disappointing?
As we saw a lot of injuries, chasing the Igbos not to vote, etc., etc.
No, nobody chose Igbo not to vote. You forgot that prior to the election there was a wound that was being created by a statement being made, Lagos is no man's land. Lagos is not this. So people still carry over that previously. The outcome, election is coming now. We are now dividing the space that Lagos is there, all these things. So I can say that grievances is what people carry out, right? And as it is, to me, right, there have been no issues about the election.
So to you, what has Sanwo-Olu done to be re-elected as the Lagos State governor?
Yeah, I think to me, it did the real life. I think it will take the glory of electric rail this thing that they just build in Marina. Yeah, it will take the glory of it. So give it to me. Any successive government that has been in power, Lagos State government governance that has been in power, they always get job to do. They always create a signature down because Lagos is a country. I mean, progress development is a continuity. And to me, as I am, I believe Sanwo-Olu is working, Lagos is working, because there's a master plan for him to work on. So any Lagos state governors that come into power, there's a master plan of Lagos that they have to follow.
Alright, sir. So thank you for that, sir. On the Supreme Court that catches the section catches fire yesterday. So the spokesman said that only the books are affected. The books in the chamber are affected, and nothing related to the presidential election tribunal.
They said the exact copy, and the hard copies are intact. So it's not like the soft copy that went astray. So the issue there is to calm their nerve. The people they always create. I mean, they always create issues. They always create meaning to issues that are supposed to ordinarily. Our people, they will turn it around and start throwing up propaganda on the Supreme Court. There can be fire. There can be fire. Incident anywhere. There can be fire incident anywhere. So you cannot control the nature. There can be fire incidents. So to you, I mean, it might be due to carelessness or due to you can talk of carelessness likewise, because people that are in charge of electrification of that place, maybe they went asleep and the job they're supposed to do, maybe switch off all the items, switch off the lights and all sort of things. They failed to do so, and there was a power shortage, outrage, and it caught fire. So what do you expect?
Alright, so going forward, sir, the controversial surrounding the presidential certificate.
Tinubu has no issue.
Tinubu said you can now show my certificate but hide my gender.
The gender issues, I think he has said it is from the school, right? It's from the registrar of the school, and the school have not denied it, right? So to me, the gender is not issues. To me, the school has to clarify the issue of gender. The name Bola Ahmed, is he a female? I mean, on earth, how can you hear that on earth that you want a female? You attach a female to a male gender, and you allow that guy to graduate, spend 4 years or 3 years or 4 years in Chicago State University with a gender, I mean, a female gender's name. You know, I mean, it has not been heard anywhere in the world. I've never heard that. Except, I mean, you yourself look at it, man. In your school, your document will be school authority as a female gender, and they know that you are a male. Who may respond instantly to it, that they to correct the abnormality there. So to me, the school are culpable, as he said, that the problem came from the school, and you'll be having his mates that's been coming out that we attended the same school with Tinubu. So what else are they saying?
All right, sir. So thank you for that, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Yeah.
So that's all from Mr. Conley. We'll be waiting for someone else to give their verdict on today's controversial issue. So good morning this morning, Mr. Matthew.
Good morning, Mr.
Bolaji.
Bolaji. Bolaji. Good morning, Mr. Bolaji.
So it's a pleasure having you today, sir. So yesterday, sir, the election tribunal validated Lagos State Governor Sanwo-Olu as the elected governor of Lagos State. And yesterday also, he has given thanks to the citizen for standing by him, and also the judiciary for their hard work. So, do you think Sanwo-Olu is the rightful winner at the tribunal in Lagos State? Considering the controversial surrounding Lagos State election, the chasing of the Igbos from voting, and also different violence that happened during the governorship election.
No, the truth is, the controversy that say the presidential election is different from that of the governorship election. When you look at the governorship election, I agree that yes, we had issue of intimidation, harassment, perhaps maybe that accumulated into the enfranchisement of some persons in Lagos State during that governorship election. But I don't think that can be proven in the law courts. And realistically, I think Sanwo-Olu won the election in Lagos State. That if they had allowed people to come out and vote, just like what they did in the presidential election, it would have been a Herculean task for him to win.
So you also agree that people were scared to come out for the governorship?
You know, I agree. People were intimidated, people were bullied, we saw that happen. We saw video evidences of how people were being threatened that they should not come out to vote and all that. And at the end of the day, we registered heavy, serious level of voter apathy, and that affected the turnout, and the rest is history.
All right, sir. So thank you for that, sir. Going forward, sir, the Supreme Court catches fire yesterday. I hope you heard about that.
I heard about it.
Yeah. So a section around the court. So they said it only affected the book at the chamber, and not related to presidential election tribunal.
I hope so, because even if it affected any document that has to do with the presidential election petition tribunal, I believe they have so
can we also trust the hard copy? Because there were hard copies for the election tribunal.
No, what we are looking at is what the Supreme Court does is they don't go back to the issue of gathering evidence, calling witnesses. They look at the judgment as delivered by this court of appeal, whether they follow the law. So they are not going back into the details. So those documents are submitted to Supreme Court by court of appeal is what they are going to review. It's a kind of review. They are not calling any prosecution witness. Like for instance, when the Supreme Court, the court of appeal ruled that 10 out of 13 prosecution witnesses of Labour Party didn't come properly as such, their testimony were not taken into account. Those are the areas Supreme Court will look at. Was appeal court right in that decision? In the area of 25% in Abuja,
they look at the decision of applicant. Was they right? Those are the issues they are going to look at, not going back to the basis.
So they are also going to use the results gotten from the appeal court.
They are going to review the report, the judgment of applicant.
All right.
The judge that was it right based on point of law, based on technicality, as issued by a court of appeal. They are going to look at it one after the other, whether they were right or wrong.
All right, sir. Thank you for that, sir. So going forward, sir, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has confirmed that my certificate can be reviewed, but not the date of birth, the gender. Is he still hiding something?
Mr. President is clearly
Because at first it was the certificate issue, but now why the gender?
No, it's clear that Mr. President has something to hide. Because for people of transparency, I think Mr. President would have allowed Chicago State University to release his report to Atiku. Because for me, if you have a president who say no, don't release my gender, don't release my transcript, it's going to show that there's something he's hiding.
So, lastly, sir, why is it that it's only Atiku forcing Tinubu to review his certificates?
It's about local standing. It's about who have a right to do a particular thing. If you as an individual approach a court or approach Chicago State University that give me the academic record of Mr. President, Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu, what are your grounds? You understand that Atiku is challenging the election that brought Tinubu to office, and I think we have some issues that have to do with pre-election issues that border on whether Tinubu is eligible to contest or not. And Tinubu has sworn to an oath that is a male. He has sworn to an oath that he have that Chicago State University and all that. So if you not get the record and the record contradict any of his oaths, that is perjury in Nigerian courts.
All right, sir. So we want to believe it doesn't contradict anything. So
it's your belief. It's not about whether we want to believe. For people of transparency, I think Mr. President, Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu should allow Chicago State University release his record.
So we want transparency from his own end also.
So Mr. Bolaji wants transparency.
We want transparency, sir. So lastly, sir, on the educational sector, tuition fee hike. So 50%, as you said, over 50% students will drop out in 2 years.
It's quite unfortunate that I have a government that do not prioritize the welfare of Nigerians. They only prioritize the revenue drive over and above any other consideration. And that is where the situation will find ourselves currently. Yeah, for me, education, if you get it right in education, you would have gotten the problem of Nigeria solved half. Because we are talking about human capital development that will need to drive all areas of human endeavor in the country. So for me, I think the government should not be thinking of earning through education. They should know that education is something we must subsidize. We must get it right as a people. We must get it right in terms of human capital development. The government should realize that they need to subsidize education.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. So that's all I have for you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So thank you very much. So if you are just joining our station, please subscribe to our channel, like and share the video to your loved ones and also to your social media. And don't forget to click on the bell button so as to get a notification anytime we upload a video on the people's mandate, the people's view on the politics and the environment in Nigeria here. Thank you for your time. Mr. Sampson, yesterday the Tribunal reaffirmed Governor Sanwo-Olu as the Lagos State Governor, and he had also given thanks to the people for standing by him and also the judiciary for the hard work. So do you also believe or do you support this judgment considering the controversial surrounding the Lagos State election far back to March?
Well, Mr.
Where the Igbos were not allowed
Mr.
to
Uncle, I don't know what you mean by controversies that happened during that governorship election. As far as I was concerned, that gubernatorial election was free and fair to me, because in my jurisdiction where I voted, and I waited to count. Election went smoothly. People who didn't come out for whatever reasons. They felt, perhaps because they felt that Labour Party lost, what's it called? Lost the presidential election. Maybe that was the reason why they didn't come out. All right, but to me, I think the opposition, especially the PDP and the Labour Party, were just being delusional. Okay, they were just being deceitful. There was nowhere on earth that we would have enjoyed so much progress in Lagos.
But we have different record of violence.
I mean, there was violence everywhere across Nigeria. This wasn't limited to Lagos. And we must understand that we have not, as a people, gotten to that stage that we will conduct an election that will be zero violence free. It's impossible until we get to that stage. Let me tell you before now, as at early 90s, as at early 20s, the elections were conducted in 2003, 2007. In this past election, we saw where some supposed fans of APC were killed, somewhere in Okota. Then we saw where some supposed fans of Labour Party were also where I think they were stabbed and all that. So it's both sides. I don't support violence, but the reality is we have not gotten to that aspect. But yes, we are improving. And due to the popular demand, Sanwo-Olu is duly and rightly elected to be, the governor of Lagos State, which I am happy he is.
Alright, sir. So Sanwo-Olu is the the best governor for Lagos State.
Yes.
Alright, sir. So going forward, sir, the NLC, as we believe, they are toothless. Now they want to mobilize for indefinite strike. Do they have the power to do this?
Well, the NLC are toothless, as a snail, if I may say.
Because recently they have not always.
They are as toothless as a snail. It is an open knowledge that the NLC, especially the chairman, which is Joajero, is a partisan leader. The labor union are expected to be apolitical. They are expected to be, unbiased. But this man. So we know that Joajero is purely a biased leader. Whatever he's advocating for, he is seen as a tool and an instrument of the Labour Party. So people will have that second thought to follow his leadership, and that makes the labor union completely toothless, like a snail. If he tries to embark on this indefinite strike, I can guarantee our people that he will totally fail. If I were the Joajero, I wouldn't focus much on the president. I will give an equal, share of attention to both the National Assembly and the presidency. The presidency has said by December. The presidency has assured us that by December, one of the refineries will come up, upstream, which is the Port Harcourt refinery. So why won't the labor unions be at least be patient and let us engage the president on the subsidy that they are sharing? But we can see that Joajero is out there, not ready to dialogue, is not ready to negotiate. All he's after is just to ensure that this president fails by all tactics that he thinks he can deploy.
All right, sir. So thank you for that. So going forward, sir, this Supreme Court, as we all know, catches fire. A section at the Supreme Court catches fire yesterday. So the spokesman said today that it only affects the book in the chamber and nothing related to the Presidential Election Tribunal. Should we believe this?
Yeah, it's true. There was a fire incident in subsection of the Supreme Court, but immediately after the fire was put under control, there was a press release and there is an assurance that this will not in any way, because the fire only affected a library of one of the justices who are not even necessarily affiliated to the case right now. So I think, yes, it is fair for us to believe. All right, and let us see how things plays out. Yes, it is not out of place for people to be suspicious. I myself, I am suspicious of the opposition and also the ruling party. Okay, because this is similar to one of the machinations that we've seen them deploy in the ugly past of the Nigerian polity. But for them to come out immediately after the incident was stopped to assure the Nigerian people that this will not in any way tarnish or denigrate the evidences or the case of the opposition against the ruling party, then I think we as responsible Nigerians should believe that.
All right, sir. So thank you, sir. So lastly, sir, ASU thoughts on the tuition fee hike that over 50% students will drop out in 2 years' time.
I think the federal government needs to come clean and come straight. Okay? There's nothing as important as policy direction and clarification. There was a promise from the ruling party, which is the APC government, led by Tinubu. They said they were going to roll out student loan schemes. So today we've not heard anything about it. So they need to come out straight. Let us start seeing that people are getting it. Due to the high rates of inflation in the economy, this has affected across all sectors. Education is a critical, sector that the government must never, remove their hands from. The education must always be subsidized. The president, the governors of today, even myself, we all enjoyed subsidized tuition. I think when I was a student in Unilag, I think my school fees all through the year my tuition fee was 10,000 or so. And I think that made it very available. And I got, a standard level of education. I think it would be totally unfair if the loan scheme is not there, well articulated and easily accessible. And then you put the student under this excruciating pain of hike in tuition fee. I think that is a recipe for crisis. That is a recipe for another insurgency and insurrection. So the president must, as a matter of urgency, attend to that cry of our young students, because as we all know, the students and youth are the future of this nation. We are planning on going from consumption to production. We need to have well-skilled and well-empowered youth. Without that, we would only remain a failed state. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your time, sir. So